Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivicharya Ashtottara Sri Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada की जय Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivicharya Ashtottara Sri Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोधाम की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मथुरा धाम की जय मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगामयी जमुनामयी की जय तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय समवेत भक्त की जय All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gauranga.
Welcome everybody to Caitanya Caritamrita reading with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Thursday, September 25th, 2025. Today we're starting with Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi 1727.
1727, okay, let's see.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Guru Maharaj, would you like to begin?
Tarusham Sohishnata Vaishnav Kuribe Partsona Tarane Kake Kichuna Bolibe. A devotee engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord should practice forbearance like that of a tree. Even if rebuked or chastised, you should not say anything to others to retaliate. Kakileha toru jena kichuna bolai sukaya more tabu jo na magoy. For even if one cuts a tree, it never protests. And even if it is drying up and dying, it does not ask anyone for water. Purport. This practice of forbearance, sororiva sahishnuna, is very difficult. But when one actually engages in chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, the quality of forbearance automatically develops. A person advanced in spiritual consciousness through the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra need not practice to develop it separately, for a devotee develops all good qualities simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra regularly. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Tapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padam Vaishyam Tatati Shapadantikam Bande Hari Sri Guru Sri Jatapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavasya Sri Rupam Shagvajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Rijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lolita Sri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Paripriya Vanchako Patarupyascha Kripa Sindhu Pyevacha Tita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Now this is Trinadapi Sunichena Toradapi Sihishana Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One should be humble, humbler than the grass, more tolerant than the tree. And Prabhupada says it's difficult. And people attack us. These days it's usually verbally especially on the internet. And just to be forbearing may be difficult. No one likes to have their reputation assaulted. No one likes to have lies told about them. No one likes to be criticized. And yet, these things come. Sometimes from our friends, sometimes from others. And just to say, all right, I'll swallow it, may be difficult. We're always tempted to reply, to retaliate. But a person who's advanced in Krishna consciousness, a little advanced in Krishna consciousness, develops this quality of forbearance. All right, what's it to me? And Prabhupada points out that it's not that separately a devotee has to cultivate this quality. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati kinchana sarvagune stetra samasute dura. As one advances in Krishna consciousness, one automatically develops all the qualities of the demigods, or all the godly qualities. So when a devotee is advanced in Krishna's service, then we see this. It automatically develops humility, develops forbearance, develops all the godly qualities. Hare Krishna. Now we see this, well, that comes up in the text later, so I won't cite it. Okay, Hare Krishna.
We have something in the chat. Praveen Prabhu writes, Niraskrita vipralabda sapta sipta ata api nasya tat pati kurvanti tad bhakta prabhavo pihi. The devotees of the Lord are so forbearing that even though they are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they are never inclined to avenge themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this from? Which verse? From where?
I don't see it. Canto 1.
Oh, Canto 1, okay. Right. She had hands up. Saraswati Mata has hands up.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was navigating on a phone. Okay, Saraswati Mataji, could you please raise your hand? Sorry, I didn't see you with my phone.
Pranam Saram Pujya Guru Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. As you had indicated, Gurudev, there's so much character and assassination taking place on the internet. And as you said, if it's about you, you have to practice tolerance and forbearance. But when it is about other saintly people, it becomes that much more harder to bite your tongue. And yes, I know you're not really supposed to tolerate insults being hurled at other Vaishnavas, although for yourself you have to tolerate it. But it comes to a point where, as much as you are trying to get that other person to realize all these offenses that are being committed, and that they, for whatever reason, why they feel this need to tear somebody apart, I don't understand it. And there's only so much you can do to try and get them to stop. But it becomes so unbearable. And, I hate to say this, but I almost feel like throttling them. Sorry, but I feel like putting my hands around their neck and just getting them to just shut up, because you just can't stand the way in which they blaspheme great saintly people. Hare Krishna.
Well, in the Shastra, it's enjoined that one should defeat them or cut out their tongues, or to say nothing of throttle them, or leave the place. There's a lot to be said for leaving the place. The internet has this quality of, what's the word, accentuating or aggravating the tendency to criticize. And I don't know what social theory says about the reasons and so on, but it's certainly a known quality of the internet. And so there's a lot to be said for simply leaving the assembly, holding one's ears. These internet forums where everyone gets to speak out and so on. Are they really helping us? Do we really need to be there? Hare Krishna. All right, maybe I'll read the next.
We have something in the chat.
Again, okay.
Yeah. From Praveen Prabhu. Karna Pidaya Nirayad Yad Akalpa Ishe Dharma Vitari Ashra Nibir Asya Mane Chindyat Prasaya Usatim Prabhus Chej Jivam Ashun Api Tato Vishret Sa Dharmaha. Sati continued, if one hears an irresponsible person blaspheme the master and controller of religion, one should block his ears and go away if unable to punish him. But if one is able to kill, then one should by force cut out the blasphemer's tongue and kill the offender. And after that, one should give up his own life.
This is really heavy, and in Kali Yuga, we just get away and chant Hare Krishna.
Yep.
Okay, that's all from the chat.
Okay. E moto Vaishnav kare kichu na magipo ayachita britti kimba shaka pal kaiva. Thus, a Vaishnav should not ask anything from anyone else. If someone gives him something without being asked, he should accept it. But if nothing comes, a Vaishnav should be satisfied to eat whatever vegetables and fruits are easily available. We're reminded of Madhavendra Puri, who wouldn't ask bhiksha from anyone, would just accept whatever might come. Shara nam laibo yata labhete santosh aita achar kore bhakti dharma posh. One should strictly follow the principle of always chanting the holy name, and one should be satisfied with whatever he gets easily. Such devotional behavior solidly maintains one's devotional service. In the Bhagavad Gita, Mana Prasada Somyatvam, when austerity is described in terms of austerity in different modes of nature, they're divided into austerity of mind. Austerities are divided into austerity of mind, of speech, and of body. So this is austerity of mind, mana prasada, just to be satisfied. This, I think, was mentioned also by Lord Vamandev to Bali Maharaj when offered charity. No, you should take more. 3 steps is nothing. No, one should be satisfied. That's the Brahminical quality. All right, this is what I got. Fine. Materialist is never satisfied.
Then the austerities of speech.
Then
the austerities of speech.
There's also austerity of speech, but Manaprasada is austerity of mind, if I'm not wrong. Then Dushpurena Analenacha, desires, material lust is Dushpura, never to be fulfilled. What is Asha Pasha Shatara Banta Kama Krodha Parayana Ihante Kama Pogarta Anyayena. So this was the materialist. He's got thousands of desires and they'll never be satisfied. The Grihamedi also. What is that? Tripyantineya Kripana Bahudupapana. He's Tripyantineya. No matter how much sense gratification he gets, it's never enough. But the devotee is satisfied whatever he gets, and he should always chant Hare Krishna.
We have something in the chat. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, sorry.
Praveen Prabhu writes, Yadrichayo Papa Nena Santustu Vartate Sukam Na Santustas Tribir Loker Agitat Mo Pasaditai. One should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny, for discontent can never bring happiness. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing 3 worlds.
Yes, this is Lord Vamandev. Satisfied with whatever he achieves by destiny. This is how much I was meant to get. So, all right. Let me live with it. Let me accept it. Let me be happy with this much. I wasn't born a king, so I wasn't destined to enjoy like a king, live like a king. Whatever comes, that's what has been earmarked for me, according to my past karma. So let me accept this is what I'm meant to get and not hanker for more. Then that saves one from envy also, because when I hanker for more, then I look across and I see, oh, wait a second, Mahesh Pandit's got, this. He's got an iPhone 72. So, why shouldn't I have one? And da-da-da. So, discontent builds envy also. We become envious of those who have more than we do. And we imagine that we would be happy if we had that. But the man with the iPhone 72, he's thinking, when can I get an iPhone 73? He's not satisfied either. So that's the mode of passion. Unlimited longings, desires. But a saintly person or person in goodness or an advanced devotee who's satisfied. All right. Hare Krishna.
We have something from Taravali Mataji. It's never-ending dissatisfaction.
Yes.
And I have a question.
Hmm.
I think Prabhupada said, chant and be happy. Is that related to these texts specifically?
I don't know whether it's specifically related, but here it's said that one should Sharanam Loibo. So one should always chant Hare Krishna. And yes, one will be happy. It doesn't specifically say that here, but certainly the relationship is there. Always chant Hare Krishna. And yes, one will be happy. Those who are seeking material happiness will always be dissatisfied. But on the spiritual platform, or the platform of chanting Hare Krishna, we can always be happy.
Okay, Saraswati Mara, go ahead.
Did Sham Sindhu Prabhu have a hand? Yeah, I see it. It's there in the top left.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
It was hiding under my icon, but yeah. Sorry, Sham Sindhu Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I have a question. It's actually going back to the 28th verse. So, Maharaj, I've heard that there's a story of Narada Muni instructing a snake. This is regarding tolerance, and so the snake not to, bite people. And so the snake stopped biting people. But then Narada Muni told him, after he started getting abused by people who took advantage of his nonviolence, that he can still show his fangs. And I wondered a bit, well, how does this relate to tolerance? A tolerant devotee showing their fangs, what does that look like? How does that work? It seems dangerously close to actually striking.
Yeah. I would suppose it's just contextually different. It's
that's only for the serpents.
Well, only for the serpents, but it's told for us also. Otherwise, what's the use of the story? But when required, a devotee can appear to tolerate, appear to be ready to retaliate. So yes, a different point is being made, it would seem. Sometimes we look at things from one angle of vision, sometimes from another. So Narada could have told the snake, just tolerate. Kirtaniya Sadahari, just go on with your business. But Narada was sympathetic that all these boys are not only bad-mouthing you, but they were throwing rocks at you and all of that. So he took sympathy on the snake, all right. And Hare Krishna.
And Saraswati Mataji?
I just wanted to share, it's been 23 years since my mother passed away, and she had a great impact on me. But the way in which she passed away, she was diagnosed with ALS, and the sort of tolerance that one has to have, or it's forced to have when you have that kind of a disease where all your voluntary muscles die. In fact, you can't do anything. You're just paralyzed in your body. You can't speak, you can't eat. And it was so difficult for all of our family members to see her deteriorate. In fact, she deteriorated so rapidly. The reason I'm sharing this is because it's very close to her death anniversary, and we were so careful not to eat things in front of her, especially things that we know that she enjoyed, but it didn't affect her at all. We found she couldn't care less what you were eating, or it really wrecked our minds, because we thought, oh, she was one of the most advanced devotees enough as far as our family goes, and always trying to encourage everyone else to be Krishna conscious. And just to see that this happened to her, it was very difficult to come to terms with. But one of the things that was extremely difficult is that certain people would say, oh, she's getting the result of all the bad things she did. And of course, we know that there is the laws of karma, but I just wanted to say that when things happen to devotees in terms of having a terminal illness or whatever, you can't always conclude that it's because of their past misdeeds and karma. I mean, in my mother's case, I can't say one way or another, but I can say that it definitely was a catalyst to her becoming even more Krishna conscious. But I think it's dangerous for people to just throw this general term that, oh, it's their karma, especially when it pertains to devotees. Hare Krishna.
Even if we look at it as their karma, we look at it and say, well, they're getting all their karma is being burnt up. One, like Krishna is so kind that before they leave, there's so much karma gets just dissipated. As you said, very quickly. So it may happen like that, in which case it's to be seen as a blessing. Who doesn't have karma? We all have karma from millions of lifetimes. So if a whole batch of karma gets burnt up very quickly at the end, then it's a blessing from Krishna.
Yeah, Maharaj, that's the best way to look at it. The bad karma is going off, and then you are elevating yourself. Yes.
Yeah, even a devotee, we've read that when a devotee is enjoying, they're using up their good karma. Anyone, they're using up their good karma. And when they're suffering, they're diminishing their negative karma. So much negative karma can be dissolved just like that. Technically, in terms of argument, this sort of connection between an imagined cause and and some effect is been known to be a form of fallacious thinking since at least the time of the ancient Greeks. It has a Greek name. Well, post hoc ergo propter after this, therefore, because of this. But sort of looking at it backwards, or looking at it another way. It's often called false cause logic. Something could have happened for any one of millions of possible reasons, and we seize one and say, you see, it's because they said because of this, because of that, but there's so many other reasons it could be. So it's really a form of sloppy thinking, a very common one. There's another comment.
Yes.
Which I can't read.
Banu and Kanti NT writes, is it possible to one day not have material desires like lust, etc., or they are always going to be there, but it will be easy to disregard them, as one day the mind will stop getting attached to the objects of the material senses?
Yes, we do hear that someone's heart is free from all material desires. So that is possible when it's so purified. Or the other way, that the desires are there, but they're ineffectual. In the Bhagavatam, they're compared to fried seeds. To have a seed means that there'll be, a plant will grow. But if the seed is fried, then it's a seed in name only. Nothing will grow from it. So the person in Krishna consciousness, even if he has desires, those desires become like fried seeds. They become, as you said, insignificant. One just looks at them and says, "That's so what?" The person who has the desire looks at it and says, "Yeah, okay, so what?" Disregards it, which makes it essentially nullified. Hare Krishna.
Murari Gupta Prabhu writes, Hare Krishna Maharaj, I've heard that devotees aren't subject to karma after initiation and taking up chanting seriously.
Yes, that's stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita with reference to Shastra. Yes, the time of initiation. And it's yes. Then Krishna takes over the life of the devotee. He's under Krishna's particular care, or under the care of the spiritual energy. Yes. Okay.
Maharaj, I can read if you want me to.
Okay.
Number 31. Trunapi sunichena tarorapi sahisnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada hari. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Purport. The grass is specifically mentioned in this verse because everyone tramples upon it, yet the grass never protests. This example indicates that a spiritual master or leader should not be proud of his position, being always humble than the ordinary common man. He should go on preaching the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes, Maharaj, please.
Well, these verses in Bengali have been essentially leading up to this Sanskrit verse. And so we discussed. And then have nothing to add.
Yeah, you just mentioned this verse a little while ago. One should be tolerant of the grass and humble than the tree.
Yes. This is a pattern in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The author someplace says, well, it may seem like there's a lot of Sanskrit, but really there's not that much. And wherever I've used it, I've translated it. So we often find this in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that there's a Sanskrit verse, and then there's Bengali verses that explain it, or Bengali verses lay out the purport, and then the relevant Sanskrit verse is quoted. So that happens here.
And one of the Vaishnavas says we should wear this mantra on our neck. That always reminds us to be tolerant and very humble.
That's the next verse.
Oh, that is okay. Okay, let's do it. Urdhava bahu kari ko kahona suna sarvaloka nam shute ganthi ganthiya para kanthi ye shloka. Raising my hand, I declared, everyone please hear me. String this verse on the thread of the holy name and wear it on your neck for continuous remembrance. Purport. When chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the beginning, one may commit many offenses, which are called namabhas and namaparad. In this stage, there is no possibility of achieving perfect love of Krishna by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Therefore, one should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra according to the principle of the above verse. Trunapi sunichena taropi sahishnuna. One should note in this connection that chanting involves the activities of the upper and lower lips as well as the tongue. All three must be engaged in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The words Hare Krishna should be very distinctly pronounced and heard. Sometimes one mechanically produces a hissing sound instead of chanting with the proper pronunciation with the help of the lips and tongue. Chanting is very simple, but one must practice it seriously. Therefore, the author of Caitanya Caritamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, advises everyone to keep this verse always strung around his neck. It's so easy to forget to properly chant Mahamantra. Okay, so you chant every day, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But then after a while, it becomes so mechanical sometimes that you start skipping Krishna and Rama and this and that and Hare. So one should be always on guard to chant Hare Krishna mantra. Okay, so you are doing your 16 rounds, fine. But once in a while, or you have to always guard yourself against not mispronouncing or skipping. And this is not, it's natural to skip, but then it's also advisable to hear your own sound and make sure that you are properly pronouncing and properly using all the 16 syllables. Hare Krishna Rama. Three main syllables. And as usual, one becomes used to chanting in a wrong way also. So the best way is you call your friend, say, hey, look, I'm chanting now. Remind me if I make any mistake, or when you get together in a Mangala Arati, or after that, there is a session for chanting from, let's say, 5:30 or 5:30 to 6:30. And then you ask your friend intimately that, please listen to what I'm chanting. And if he's a good friend, then he will let you know how you are doing. That's one way to avoid your wrong chanting. Because if you hear wrong, then there is no effect of that. So always chant nice syllable, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So here in the purport it says the tongue is involved, upper lips and lower lips are involved. So they all should work in harmony. The hissing, otherwise you will be having a hissing sound instead of chanting with the proper pronunciation with the help of the lips and tongue. Chanting is very simple, but one must practice it seriously. It's very important. If you want to get out quickly from this material world and go back home and go to Krishna, even though it's a simple chanting, it's very hard. Believe me. Because you can take it for granted that you're chanting, but actually, I have heard that, I have seen these things going on even in my own house. My wife chants, and I sometimes listen, and I say, hey, look, you're skipping this. And it's very hard to swallow that also. But then you have to tell them very nicely, hey, Prabhu, you just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I hope my Zoom audience takes this very seriously. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
The issue is not exactly the correctness of the pronunciation of Bhavagrahi Janardana. Krishna can accept the chanting even if it's mispronounced. But the point is that the chanting should be attentive.
Attentive. Oh, yeah, that's right.
That we don't want to be just mindlessly chanting Krishna Nam, but attentively chanting. So that means that, as mentioned here, the tongue is working, the lips, upper and lower lips are working because we're focusing. Let me chant nicely. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Sometimes you hear just beautiful chanting. Sometimes I've heard devotees chanting, and it's just so clear. The chanting is done so clearly, and you can see how this devotee is really focused. And then we hear our own chanting sometimes, and it's just so Satsvarup Maharaj has written about this in some of his books about chanting the holy name.
Yeah, that's a good point you, Maharaj, mentioned, attentively.
Mm.
Okay, what do we have? Go ahead, Rasanand Prabhu.
Praveen Prabhu writes, Diksha Kale Bhakta Kare Atma Samarpana Se Kale Krishna Tare Kare Atma Sama Se Deha Kare Tara Chid Anandamaya Aprakrita Deha Tanra Charana Vajaya. At the time of initiation, when a devotee fully surrenders unto the service of the Lord, Krishna accepts him to be as good as himself. When the devotee's body is thus transformed into spiritual existence, the devotee in that transcendental body renders service to the lotus feet of the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Next,
Yeah,
Praveen.
there's if I'm not missing something, there's a question from Murari Gupta Prabhu. Murari Gupta Prabhu writes, there are multiple warnings against offending Vaishnavas, but if a Vaishnava embodies this mood, how will he ever be offended? Or is the danger Krishna considering something an offense?
The offending a Vaishnav, as far as I understand, doesn't depend on the Vaishnav feeling offended. If I criticize Mahesh Pandit Prabhu, he may just say, what's it to me? But we find that, in fact, there'll be a incident coming up concerning Srivas Thakur and Gopal Chapal. Gopal Chapal was a Brahmin who was envious because the chanting was going on in Srivas Thakur's home, and this Gopal Chapal was excluded because who wants to have critics and blasphemers around? The outsiders like that were kept out. So being envious, he wanted to retaliate. And so he set up a whole batch of paraphernalia for Devi Puja outside of Srivas Thakur's door to make it seem as if Srivas Thakur, who was known as a first-class Vaishnava, was actually worshipping Devi. Hypocritically worshipping Devi. So when Srivas Thakur saw it, he called together local Brahmins and said, just see, I'm supposed to be a Vaishnava, but actually at night I'm secretly worshipping Devi. And here's the evidence, you can see it. So he didn't take it seriously. He blew it off, as they say. But Gopal Chapel came down with leprosy.
Yes.
At once. So even if the Vaishnava doesn't regard the offense as an offense, still it is an offense, and Krishna may take it very seriously.
So Saraswati Devi said, Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj Shri warned that those who are looking at the clock and wanting to get the 16 rounds over with are also not chanting without offenses. How can we avoid this tendency?
Yeah. Go on chanting and pray to Krishna. That's stated that if we commit offenses to the holy name, the only thing to do is just go on chanting seriously. And constantly chant Hare Krishna.
So we can read one more verse, Maharaj.
We have a few things. Sham Sindhu Prabhu, would you like to?
Hare Krishna, I have a question about the offenses. It seems like it works in reverse also, where even if you don't make an offense per se, if the devotee feels offended, then you can get some kind of negative reaction. I was thinking Rupa Goswami, he was seeing pastimes and he laughed, and that devotee was walking along with, I guess, a lame leg or something, and he thought that Rupa Goswami was laughing at him, and Rupa Goswami's meditation broke and he couldn't get back into it. I'm wondering how that works, unintended offenses where we really don't have any, we didn't have any intention to make an offense, but yet someone takes offense just because they misunderstand us. How are those counted? And
that's the way of the world. That's even when we don't intend offense, sometimes it's taken as offense. So then we can take the responsibility for that and try to satisfy the party that feels offended. But we should be careful not to take it that, well, I didn't commit any offense, it's just, this person feels, so there's a common way of superficially apologizing, in which we say, I'm sorry if you felt offended by anything I did. The implication being that whatever I did was fine. But if you felt offended, that's your issue. And well, if you felt offended, then I'm sorry that due to your own shortcomings, you feel that way. I hope you'll get over it. That kind of apology is not very much appreciated. But it may happen that way, that a person, we really didn't intend it, but somehow, well then, all right, let me take the humble position. Maybe my intention wasn't to commit some offense, but I unintentionally did. So let me take the responsibility for that.
Maharaj, there was a really tricky one I read in the Lilamrit, where Hari Sari had asked some old Bengali men not to eat in front of the deities, and I think it was the Vrindavan temple, and it turned into a big episode, and Prabhupada mentioned to Hari Sari that he committed a great offense. I read in Nectar of Devotion that, yeah, we're not supposed to eat in front of the deities, so in one sense, Hari Sari was performing his duty, but it seems that there were tensions of, I guess, the people in Vrindavan, how they were viewing these Western Vaishnavas. So how does that work when, if we've given some post and we're trying to do the right thing, and it turns into something where someone feels wronged, even though perhaps someone's trying to enforce the rules? How do those get taken?
Yeah, therefore one should try to, those who have these responsible positions, to try to do things in such a way that others don't feel offended, that they don't feel singled out and needlessly criticized. There's an art to it. There are those who, they can, what's the word, correct you, and at every step you feel like you're being hounded, like you're being, what's the word? Sorry, words not going. Anywhere where you feel like you're being needlessly criticized. And others who are more expert, they know how to do it in such a way that the person doesn't feel persecuted, doesn't feel needlessly criticized. There are different strategies for that. Prabhupada mentioned criticizing the daughter-in-law by criticizing the daughter, so that the effect of the offense is or the effects of the criticism isn't taken as a personal offense. Even when criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we read, after finding so many faults in composition of Keshav Kashmiri, took it, said, well, even in the compositions of Kalidas and such other great poets, there are discrepancies. So in that way, he, what's the word? Sought to pacify the pundit with gentle words after totally beating him up by finding so many faults in his verse. Still, he didn't throw salt in the wound at the end and leave the pundit smarting from that. It was bad enough that all these things had been found, but at the end, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, well, even Vidyapati, Kalidas in their compositions, there are some faults, so it's not such a big thing. So there's a way of speaking sweetly that Krishna, after chastising the Kaliya Nag, said, please forgive me, it's my duty, what can I do? So this gentleness of spirit will help us. And we're out of time.
You have, go ahead, you have 1 minute.
Oh, I just wanted to alert that Praveen Prabhuji has something lengthy in the chat box, and I know that he's in a time zone and a setting where he cannot participate verbally, but he very kindly always supplies such relevant quotes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anybody for Kirtan? Shyam Sindhu Das.
It's a little bit noisy where I am. I think they're doing some work in the other room.
Should be all right.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Vishnupad Purnamansa Pariprajukacharya Ashtotar Satashi Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Nam Acharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Jayādvaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Maya Ki Jai Jamuna Maya Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Shyama Sindhu Prabhu, for your nice kirtan. And thank you all the devotees for joining us. On behalf of all the Zoom devotees, I would like to thank Maharaj for his presence. And even though it's very austere to 2 o'clock in the morning in South Africa, Maharaj willingly joined us for our benefit in the Zoom class. Thank you, Maharaj, very much. His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami Maharaj ki.
Thank you for your association. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you. So Maharaj, any plan for coming to Vrindavan this year?
Maybe. We'll have to see. Maybe at Kartik time, not this year.
Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Sorry.
Naveen Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.